Some structures, as far as the kidney is concerned, will be on the cadaver. Most of you have seen the kidneys already, so you know what they are. The ureter is easily distinguishable and so on. That, other than that, there's not too much else that's going to be on there, so the rest of it will be on this model. So whoever's got the list in front of you, where it says model, just start reading down the thing.
Cortex.
Okay, the cortex of any organ is the outer thin section. It is not this magenta colored thing that represents the capsule, which every organ has in the body. The cortex is internal, and it is represented by this band identified by these hatched red lines, going all the way through. They represent arterioles that are part of the blood supply. But
So
this
like
area
A?
right here, your region A, if you will, is the cortex. Relatively thin band. Then the next should be the medulla, right? Okay, the medulla again is the internal portion of it. Here it's middle, if you will, because it's not the most internal portion. It is this region right here, this central area, and it is composed of these structures called renal pyramids. They look like a pyramid, and anytime you see the renal pyramids, you know you're in the renal medulla.
Can we see the pyramids in there?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3,
Oh,
4.
okay.
All those are pyramids.
Things that look like flower petals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, next.
Renal pelvis.
That is this region right here. Okay, not this whole, this is still part of the medulla. It is this area right here, right close to this notch, which is called the hilum.
So like 11?
Say again?
Is that 11?
Yeah, 11 could do it, not 12.
Not 12.
But I would put it basically right between 11 and 12.
So-
That would be the central area of the renal pelvis.
This, like that?
Yeah.
You're gonna put your
Mhm.
own stickers on for the.
Yeah, and these numbers are not going to apply to the practical. We'll have our own
Okay.
stickers on that.
Renal pelvis.
It is this common area right here. It's a collecting area for urine, and it is the culmination of these things called calyces, which look like funnels, where the urine is traveling down. So it's just this region right here. The important thing is the renal pelvis is internal, okay? As opposed to the next name, which should be the hilum, right? Okay, that is external. The hilum is this little notch. It's a region. The lungs also have a hilum, and it is an area where blood vessels and typically another structure will physically enter the particular organ in question. So here you got the renal blood vessels and the ureter.
So it's this whole,
It's the notch. This
like
notch area
this?
right. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a region where they're entering. In the lungs, it's the pulmonary vessels and the bronchi, which are going on either side. And sometimes the notch is really deep, like it is here. Sometimes it's relatively shallow, like you would find it in the lungs. It's just that entry point.
And you can actually see the hilum on the cadaver, can't
Yeah,
you?
mhm.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah, we can point that out.
Okay.
It's wherever the things are going in. That's where the hilum is.
okay. Renal corpuscles.
Corpuscle, okay. Now we're going over to this guy over here. Remember the renal corpuscle from your histology slides. It's one way to tell you were looking at the kidney. Now, the renal corpuscle is the whole thing, okay? Not this green section, but this whole area right here where my hand is on. Okay, now the renal corpuscle is subdivided into two main parts. One,
Is it separate from the kidney?
it's inside the kidney. This is microscopic.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is part of what's called a nephron, which is the entire unit, functional unit of the kidney.
It's that thing on
Yeah,
there, right?
it represents the gray thing that's here is this,
Okay.
okay? The green is the tubule system.
Okay.
So this is the renal corpuscle, which you saw in your histology slides, and is composed of two things. From the outside first is Bowman's capsule. Okay, this
so the
here,
gray.
Okay.
The gray area.
Like that single cell layer is
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you remember you had to know this for simple squamous epithelium.
Yeah.
Right. And then this mass of stuff inside, which looks like a bowl of spaghetti, is the glomerulus.
Yeah,
I don't think
didn't
anybody
either.
spelled that right.
It
Like I
is-
said, I tried to respell it like 10 different times
Didn't
before I
work.
just gave up and went with my
And, yeah,
best
also
guess.
simple squamous epithelium. So some of that basic histology you're expected to know here as well.
Okay.
Okay, that's a typical follow-on question. To identify this, what's the tissue type?
Okay.
Okay.
Squamous.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, then there's the tubule system, right? Okay, the tubule system is anything that's in green on this center section here. Okay,
The dark green or
both.
both?
Anything
Okay.
green. It's going to be further subdivided into three main sections, and I'll mention that in just a moment.
Where'd you say this was?
The tubule system,
Is anything in green?
yeah, the green, both olive green and forest green, or whatever color you want to call it. And on here, it's this section here that begins the tubule system. Okay. So, leaving the renal corpuscle, you have this olive green tube. That's called the proximal convoluted tubule. Okay, proximal means to some origin point. Convoluted means twisted, contorted, which is exactly what it is for the most part. It's just this section immediately leaving the renal corpuscle and then going down to about here. Okay, so there's not a real delineation, but somewhere about here is where we border onto the next section, which is this loop that's here. That's called Henle's loop, or loop of Henle, or nephron loop, or maybe there's another name, I don't know.
Okay, wait, now what? I'm sorry, I'm lost
Yeah,
now.
those individual things I haven't specifically listed on the chart.
Okay.
It's just tubule system, then I'm just further subdividing.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the proximal convoluted tubule, wherever you see the contortions.
And those, I don't know, grayish balls on the middle one, those are the,
That's this.
Proximal
Okay.
convoluted tubules.
And then this was Henle's loop.
Henry's?
This right here, this whole thing?
No, from this whole down here
Oh.
and this whole thing down there,
Okay,
the entire structure. That is, it's subdivided into descending and ascending limbs, and it's pretty easy.
Henry's loop?
Henle,
Henle.
Henle.
good day, Holly.
Oh, no, it's not. Okay.
And then right about here is the transition to the dark green portion here, which is the distal convoluted tubule. So they're just named by their relative positions. In lecture, we'll talk about what happens in these tubules and so
Because
on.
it's the furthest away from the,
Furthest away relative to the renal corpuscle.
okay.
The white thing here looks like a dead tree branch is the collecting duct.
Okay. Where are these structures in relation, like on the actual kidney?
Kind of loosely have it done up here. This green represents the tubule system, which is what you're seeing here.
Okay.
The glomeruli, the renal corpuscles rather, most of them are going to be in the cortex someplace. They'll either be high up or lower down or scattered somewhere in there.
Okay.
Henle's loops will go either just a little into the medulla, which is like represented by this guy,
Okay.
or they'll go deep, way down into the pyramids, which is represented by this guy.
Okay.
Okay, really quick. The medulla, is that just the white then?
No.
That's the whole
This
section?
band
And then the
right here.
pyramids are a specific portion
The
of
pyramids are just
medulla?
that portion, yeah.
Okay.
Because of the curvature, all these Henle's loops have that pyramid
That makes
macroscopic.
Okay.
Got it.
True.
Cool.
Okay, and that, I think, is at the end of that list there, right?
That's the end
Okay.
of the urinary system.
Okay,
Yep.
I'm going to go grab the